Oh, say, can you hear?
Yet another red light.
Well, I'm gonna spill all
The secrets you're holding.
About the spaceships up there and the aliens down here and all history,
Which is totally fake.
When their eyes go to natural state, the Plejarans, they have the most penetrating, most beautiful eyes. And I'll tell you what is it. You picture a blue iris, and you have the pupil. The lines that go inside, you have blue and white stripes just going in there. Okay? Eyes have this blue glow, kind of like if you look at blue, neon gives a glow. Her eyes are glowing off blue. So I got a phone call. I have to meet up with you. She said to me, my father is getting ready to leave. I said, your father? She goes, well, he's going to pass away. He's going to die the way we die down here, but he's going back. And I said, you mean going back home? That he's returning and going back to the Pleiades or where the heck they're coming from? She goes, yes, he's returning. She goes, he's been here for a very long time. For a very long time. He's been here for several generations. I said, really? He's been here that many, 100 years? She goes, yeah, he's been here for a long time. So we're now getting to this point. Now it's time for him. He's already done doing what he needs to do. I'm now doing my part, and then we're going to be doing more stuff. So he's leaving now. So it was interesting how she's discussing the death of her father, and that she's going to have a discussion with her father to take care of his body while he gets ready to go back. I'm like, this is a freaking trip. Death is something, y'all handle death differently. She goes, yes. She goes, yes. We handle things differently than how people handle things down here. She goes, he had a great time down here. He did a lot of things, but he says he's got to leave right now. He's pretty much done with what's going on down here. She looked at me and she said to me, there's something I need to tell you. She goes, you are very good at what you do, and you are a good business person. Did you know that? And I said to her, I strive to be. I really want to get better. She goes, you keep working at it in time. So she looked at me and she goes, you know, you're very, very healthy physically. Your health is really good. Really take care of your health. You have to start eating the right foods, organic foods. She goes, something is getting ready to happen on the planet with the environment. And I said, what do you mean, global warming? She goes, no, not what you think it is. She goes, the sun is going through a change and it's heating up. And when the sun heats up, it's going to cause the planet to start heating up. What it actually does is, when the planet heats up and the sun heats up, a lot of the crops start to fail, because most of the crops are grown out there in public. They're not grown inside buildings, they grow out there. So what happens, you have these storms come in, you have these floods come in, and they damage the crops. I said, is the planet's environment in trouble? She goes, yes, the planet's environment is in trouble. It's not that bad yet. It's getting there, but we can do some things to change it. What we have to focus on now, she goes, you're growing some greens in your backyard, because I started growing some green onions, and I had no idea that I was going to become an expert master gardener, where I was going to crack the puzzle and become an expert farmer. So I said to her, my ancestors were farmers. They grew sugar cane, they grew potatoes, they were all these massive potato farms. And she goes, you're growing some greens in your backyard. She goes, how are they doing? I said, they're green onions, are growing pretty good. I tried some potatoes and they failed. She goes, keep learning everything you can, because you have to start growing your own food. The food production has to start in the center of the cities. Food has to be moved from the outside of the city, and food has to be grown in the center of the city indoors. So what was happening right here, I was saying to grow the food indoors. She goes, yes, you have to learn to grow the food indoors and develop farming systems, because you can protect the farm from windstorm damage and flooding and rainfall. So she said to me, focus on agriculture and farming and learn the systems. You have to start doing something. So I had no idea what was going to happen. So I'm sitting here point blank, and she said to me, we have a problem. She says, there are only 3 million people like you on the planet right now, globally. I said, like me. She goes, the ones that we have approached, the ones we are in contact with, the ones, she goes, out of the 3 million, only 3 million of you exist on the planet that we're having face-to-face contact with. She says 25% of the people globally on the planet, she's explained to me point blank, have awoken to what's going on. We have a big problem. It requires over 51% of the global population of people from all age groups, children, men, women, adults, to accept what the 3% knows about alien contact and to usher in this change. She goes to usher in to make this change. Basically, people are going to ask me right now, why are ETs interacting with you? What's the purpose? It's not that complicated. We decide what we need to do that is right for this planet. We have to solve our farming systems. We have to solve our economic systems. We have to solve our biological systems. We have to solve our environmental systems. We have to release all these energy technologies, switch these cleaner technologies, all these things. It was all coming to me right now. It was all making sense. It was all coming together. Now, going into now 2012. In 2012, something interesting was about to happen. My psychic called me up one day out in Rosenberg and she said to me, she goes, hey, my sister is coming into town. She needs to see you. She's taking a plane ticket and she's coming into town. And I go down there to Thursday. So she looked at me, she goes, I was sent to come down here to meet you. A while back, when Tammy told me about you back in 2003, because 2003 was when I went to go see Tammy for the first time. A lady that's an extraterrestrial woman that's working inside the CIA came by my office to talk to me. It brought you up in a conversation, says, we need you to go talk to this guy. I go up there in the patio with her. She goes, I need to talk to you for a second. She goes, I had to literally spend a couple $100s and get a ticket to come down here. I was walking, going grocery shopping, and I was in the parking lot, and 3 of the aliens showed up to me. The same ones you're in contact with. She goes, they're Pleiadians. I said, all right, they're Pleiadians. I said, you mean Plejarans? They're Plejarans. So she goes, yes, they're the same thing, Plejaran, Pleiadian. I said, she goes, 3 men, 1 woman. I was walking, and I heard the guy start the conversation with me behind. I heard a woman call me, and it was Nancy, we need to talk to you. So she turned around, they walked up to her, they were aliens. She could tell by their eyes. She goes, we need you to go talk to Mark. They wanted me to tell you that there is this event that's coming up in the country. This event, there's an event coming up in the country. Something bad is going to happen in public. Some type of stage event. And when it happens, the American people are going to get so angry and so mad, they're going to start buying up a lot of guns, buying up a lot of bullets, buying up a lot of food supplies, buying up a lot of preps. And they're going to prepare, and they're going to get brave, and they're going to get so strong that the US government will lose control of the people and will never be able to control their free will anymore. Because we are letting you know that we fought in the last Revolutionary War inside the United States. We fought in that war in 1776, and we died in that war. I looked at the guy, I said, what? He said to me, we aliens were on the ground with Washington's army, with the Patriots, fighting with them on the ground, and some of us died inside that Revolutionary War, and we won the war. This Revolutionary War is going to happen again inside the country, and we are trying to do everything that we can do to prevent that war from happening. Okay? If things don't turn around and go in the direction that it needs to go, and the bad people inside the government get the upper hand and we don't do anything, all hell is going to break loose, and this country is going to have a revolutionary war again. So when I heard this thing devastated me right here. I was shocked, and what was getting ready to happen to me now, my house is going to go into foreclosure and I'm going to wind up homeless now. So while I'm building up my business and recovering, I lose the house, the Bank of America foreclosed on the house, I lost the car. So I now have nowhere to live, and I had more bigger concerns about my livelihood than worrying about what aliens were telling me face to face. But this was a serious, rugged, vicious transition of what was happening. People were losing their houses all over. People were losing cars. Bad stuff. I was watching women running out of gasoline in the streets of Houston right there in front of me on the road. It was getting pretty bad. So everything was happening that was bad at the time.
Say, can you finally
Start telling us the truth.
Protect our civil liberties and
all wars now?